see. All right, I think I'm muted, hopefully. I'm live on Instagram. I'm live in my Facebook group because I figured it might be of value to those of you guys on Instagram as well. And I'm just going to post this really quickly in here. I'm not going to stand the whole time, but I am going over tonight. What I am doing is I am going over a little bit about calorie calculators and BMR, TDEE, and all of these numbers that a lot of people don't really know anything about. And it's something that I'm super passionate about teaching people. So, hey, Craig. So if any of you guys on Instagram want to hop into my group, it's called More Than Macros. I'm going to put that in the comments below. So have a good night, guys. Let's see. All right, my Facebook group peeps. I am going to be starting to talk about this in just a moment. I'm going to give a couple people the link who were looking for it, and then we're going to get started. So if you guys have any questions while I'm getting started here, go ahead and pop them in the show, or pop them in the comments for me. Pop them in the show. Can you tell I'm used to podcasting? Let's just go ahead and put my group. Let's see. One second. Sorry about the mix up on the time too, guys. That was my bad. I was in Nashville last week, and so I was thinking Central Time, which would be 7 p.m. EST. That was my own bad. But we are here and we are live, and I'm getting this up and running. I'm just going to send this to these people. Let's see. Text message. All right. What is up, guys? Happy Wednesday. All right. So tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys and educate you guys a little bit about calorie calculators, BMR, all of these numbers that a lot of people don't really understand. And it's really important that everybody does understand these numbers because they are crucial for you guys that are trying to make body composition changes, that are trying to perform your best in the gym. And it's where everybody should start with is a solid understanding of this. And I know it's really easy to get hung up in the stress of like, I don't want to track my food. I don't want to worry about calories and all of these macros and things like that. But when it comes down to it all, you know, at the end of it all, guys, science doesn't lie. So science is what it is, right? Like there's statistics, there's all of these different metrics that we can look at that are telling us that this is not just a fad, it is the reality of what our bodies need. And there are a number of ways we can manipulate our calories to make sure that we're getting them to the right dosage with macros and different dietary protocols. But at the end of the day, it all starts with solid understanding of your basal metabolic rate and your TDEE. So if you guys have any questions about this stuff, or if you want to just say hi, like Mr. Craig said hi to me, let me know that too. I don't know if I have to keep refreshing in the group, so I'm going to try and do that just to make sure, because it's really hard for me to tell if anybody is saying anything. So, no, I don't want to hear myself talking. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to start by pulling up a spreadsheet, a little PowerPoint that I made. Let's go ahead and see, share screen. Here we go. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. And I am going to go back to the beginning and I'm going to go view, present. All right, so why am I so passionate about this? Because there was a time in my life when I went online and I found a calorie calculator and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to follow whatever this calorie calculator tells me to do. And that wasn't really the right thing for me to do because I was way under eating and I was feeling like shit. And yeah, I got great results, but I really did that because I have some pretty tough or pretty good mental toughness. And a lot of people will get frustrated because they're like, there's no way that I can stick to this. So I wanted to take some time here to understand or explain all this stuff to you guys. So let's just kind of start by talking about basal metabolic rate. What is your BMR? So in order to find your basal metabolic rate, this is your body's needs at complete rest in a temperate environment when the digestive system is completely inactive. So the way that they test this for the most accuracy is you have to be awake, but you have to have your central nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system completely shut off. You have to be fasted for at least 12 hours. This is basically what your body needs just to, maintain vital organs, heart, lungs, your nervous system, all of these different things, cell turnover and stuff like that. And as I put in this spreadsheet or in this slideshow here, it is the equivalent of figuring out how much gas an idle car consumes while parked. So you have your car turned on and it's in the driveway on a flat surface. It's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there. That's essentially what your BMR is. Okay. And it's going to make up for about 70% of your total daily energy expenditure. And you can see, as I put here, roughly about 20% of that is going to go to exercise and other non-exercise activity. And then the other 10% is going to go to digestive thermogenesis, or whatever it's going to require of your body to digest food. Okay, so that's understanding your BMR. So when you go online and you're looking at different calculators and it says your BMR is 1241 or whatever it is, I'm going to show you guys an example in a second. This is what your body is saying, is if it says 1241, that's how many calories your body should be consuming for optimal function of your current state. Now, before we go into that, I'm going to tell you right now, the one thing that is not calculated into BMR is your lean body mass. And there is another calculator out there that does do that. And I put it down here, which is the Catch-Mark-McArdle calculator. And it does factor in that because we all know that lean muscle tissue is going to require more energy to maintain than no lean muscle tissue. So how do we calculate our BMR? There is a couple of different calculators out there, with the most popular, I don't want to say it's the most accurate one, but the most well-known and used one is going to be the Harris-Benedict calculator. It has been around for, I think, since like 1984. It's been around since before that, but 1984 is when they revised it. So it's been utilized for a very long time. So that's not changing. Science is what it is. 1 + 1 = 2. This is the calculator that they use for the most part for calculating BMR. So that's how you get it. You basically take your body weight, your height, and I'm going to show you a little bit more about this in a second. So as I already kind of mentioned, there's some other things that are going to affect our BMR. Obviously, our age, our weight, our ethnicity, our genetics. Weather can even affect your BMR. So in extreme hot or cold climates, your body's needs are a little bit different. But also things like your body weight history. So dietary history, have you yo-yoed your weight a lot? That's going to affect your basal metabolic rate. Your current dietary habits. So are you a volume eater or are you a calorie density eater? That's going to affect your BMR. How much food are you eating? Your hormone profile, how healthy your hormone profile is. Being pregnant is going to affect your BMR. And then the last one is supplementation. So there's going to be some supplements that are going to factor into that. Now, as I put at the bottom here, that this is still considered an estimation. It is not actually, like, this number is not written in stone for every single person. There's going to be some factors and there's going to be some variance in that. And that's why it says 26% of an unknown variance between people. So this is where calculators can get people into trouble. Okay, so you can look at that and you can freak out like, oh my God, I'm eating way under my BMR, or oh my gosh, that's so much food. How can I consume that? But there's still going to be at least a 26% of an unknown variance for that. So if anything pops up, I'm not looking at the Facebook Live right now. So at the end of this, I will go back there and answer any questions that I see pop up. Now, what is your total daily energy expenditure? Okay, so the total daily energy expenditure is going to take your BMR and it's going to have a multiplier to it. And there are a number of different multipliers out there. And they all end up coming up about the same. However, what I'm going to tell you, just like the BMR, these are all going to be estimations and there's going to be some variance up and down from that. But this is a good, pretty general one that you guys can all utilize and what a lot of formulas out there are going to be relying on. And this is an estimation of your calories needs that you're burning with exercise activity, with your non-exercise activity, and with any thermic effective feeding. So how much food you're taking in is going to require more digestion. Your non-exercise activity, do you move around and fiddle a lot, or do you sit behind a desk all day, very sedentary? What kind of training are you doing? How much of that? All of that stuff is going to add on to this. And you can see here, sedentary, just to give you guys, because if you guys are going to play around with these calculators, I want you guys to understand what you should be looking at in terms of where you should put yourself. Sedentary is literally you are behind a desk from 9 to 5. You drive for an hour and a half a day. You get probably less than 3,000 steps a day. You don't exercise. Pretty much you're just not moving all day. There's just not a lot of movement. You're kind of like need to dust the cobwebs off. Light activity 1 to 2 times a week. Maybe you do like 30 minutes or less of training once or twice a week. Maybe this could also factor in, maybe you don't actually train once or twice a week, but maybe you actually do make it a conscious habit to go for a walk daily. Maybe your steps are somewhere in that like 5 to 7,000 range daily. And then you're starting to get into like where most people are going to fall into place, which is that 3 to 5 days a week range or that 6 to 7 days a week range. Now, oftentimes these factors are more based off of also like your metabolic needs. So if you're saying you're training 3 to 5 days a week and your workout is less than 10 minutes and that's it, and you're going about your day, it's also going to factor into your actual activity level as well. So think of like elevated heart rate for like 20 minutes or more, 3 to 5 times a week would be a good general place there. Or if you're like elevated heart rate for 10 minutes, but you're also being mindful of steps and all that stuff. Once again, these are estimations. And then you're going up into that very active. So you're in the gym 5 to 6 days a week, maybe 7 days a week if you're doing like a yoga class or something like that. And then at the top of it all, extra active, you're like, maybe you're doing a couple of double days, maybe you work construction and you're also doing some kind of a CrossFit class. And you can actually still go up from here, but these are good numbers for most people to start with. So this is usually how, as a nutrition coach, myself and Coach Dylan and all the other coaches out there are going to, an educated coach is always going to take a look at these numbers as we are evaluating a person's current dietary habits to see how far off from that they are. Meet Linda. I don't know where I got that name from. I actually only have one client named Linda, and she is not 39. She is not 5'5", and she's not 160 pounds. When I was putting this together today, I just was trying to think of a name, and that was the first thing that popped into mind. So, hey, Linda, 39 years old, 5'5". She's 160 pounds. She is working out 5 times a week. Plus, she's getting in a nice long run on her weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on her schedule. Her history, she's kind of been up and down with different dietary protocols, and she's struggling to find anything that's going to help her lose weight. Maybe she saw some success in the beginning and it just kind of stalled out. She's tried everything. She's tried going low carbs, tried going to low calories. She's tried doing a number of different things. She's tried added in, more activity. She's tried all these different things, and it doesn't seem like anything seems to work. So she ends up going back to eating whatever she wants, and her weight just kind of stays the same. She's just not changing. And it seems like most days she's getting in maybe 1,200 calories a day. This is very, very, very common. Believe it or not, this is more common than you guys would all know. And if this is you out there, even if you're not Linda and you're not 39, you're not 160 pounds, but if some of that dietary history resonates with you, this might be where we're at. So let's kind of talk a little bit about what's going on with Linda. If I was to take into factor the formula that we use to calculate BMR and TDEE, we're going to call Linda, and I'm going to be generous because I know that we're all afraid of calories. And I'm going to put Linda in that 3 to 5 days a week range. She's probably more of a very active, but knowing her dietary history, I'm going to put her a little bit lower, and I'm going to talk about why that is in a second. But if we factor in her BMR at 1461, and then we add her TDEE at moderately active, and I did also put a range if she was very active, this would be her current needs to maintain her weight. She's telling us that she's eating 1,200 calories a day. And if you're one of my clients, now you're going to understand why I'm like, are you sure you're logging everything? Because I'm like wanting to make sure that you're not missing something and that I'm actually getting a true reading, because I'm like, okay, Linda is way under calorie needs and she's not losing weight. Okay, so something's not right. So let's talk a little bit about energy balance. In order for us to lose body weight, whether it's muscle tissue or fat, okay, we have to change our calorie balance. Calories in, when it matches calories out, weight maintenance occurs. Reminding yourself that there's a number of things that are going to factor into that calories out, which is our BMR, along with our exercise activity and our non-exercise activity, and the thermic effect of feeding, okay? So there's a number of factors that are going to affect that. If our energy in is greater than energy out, we're going to gain weight. So if you're starting to gain weight and it's not changing, it just keeps climbing up, we're in a calorie surplus. I'm going to pause for a second. If you go on vacation or you have a little bit higher calorie weekend, the weight going up on Monday morning is not you gaining fat. You're likely gaining some water retention from whatever food you're eating or something else like that. So don't stress about that. But if week after week, we're seeing that constant trend up, then we might be in trouble. It does take time to put on body fat, and I'm going to explain that in a second. Oh, it's coming up next. If energy in is less than energy out, we're going to see weight loss occur. So as I put here, 1 pound is equal to 3,500 calories of stored energy, which is why when you're up 3 pounds on Monday morning after the weekend, you would have had to eat 35, 7,000, over 10,000 calories more than your body's needs at rest. So Miss Linda would have had to eat somewhere in that, like, well, let's call it 12 to 13,000 calories in order to put on 3 pounds of body fat. And we know that's not what happens. It's water, it's waste, it's a bunch of other things. So why isn't Linda losing weight? Science says total daily energy expenditure of, we're going to call it 2,300 calories, somewhere right in the middle of, that 2,200 to 2,400, minus the 1,200 she's reporting. If she's really eating that 7 days a week, even if she maybe has a couple of days here and there where she probably overeats because she's like, I'm freaking starving, that would put her in a daily calorie deficit of 1,100 calories, which would equal a 7,700 calorie deficit weekly, which should equate to a 2 to 2.5 pounds of loss weekly. So why isn't Linda losing weight? I get your frustration. Trust me, I get it. I see it. On a number of days, I'm frustrated for people who are in this position. This is what I want to talk about right now. Metabolic adaptation happens. It doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how smart you are. Our bodies are designed to adapt. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay, you go into a swimming pool, eventually your body is going to warm your temperature, your body temperature is going to adapt to the temperature of the water. Okay, our body is designed to adapt. No matter who you are, that's what our bodies are designed to do. We have to survive. That is our primary goal in life, is to survive and to reproduce. So when energy in goes down, your energy out goes down to match it. So essentially, you won't even realize it, but somebody that is typically very active, maybe you are very fidgety, maybe you typically have like that bubbly energy all the time, are going to notice that maybe you don't even notice it, but you're just not moving as much. You're just not as active as you used to be. You just don't move the same way. Maybe you don't even realize it, but your workouts are going kind of short. You're kind of cutting things short. Maybe you're skipping a couple things here and there. You're just burning fewer calories in response to eating less. Your body is trying to survive. So Linda is only eating 1,200 calories a day. Your body is trying to be very resourceful for what it has. So let's pretend you need a budget of $300 to buy everything that you need to buy, but you're only given $150. You know that there's going to be some things that are going to have to sacrifice, right? So it's the same thing with your body. Your body's going to sacrifice whatever it doesn't need. This is where we can get into some issues with some hormone imbalances, when, just other things start to go wrong. Maybe sleep gets disrupted, maybe recovery, maybe injuries start to occur. Then you have the other thing, is that when you weigh less, you just need less at rest. So what's going to be harder, running with a 20-pound vest or running without the 20-pound vest? So your body's not pushing that extra weight anymore. This is a normal reaction to losing weight. Your body needs less, but that still should be in relationship to the BMR, because we now have a new weight. This is why we should be adjusting these things. The next one is, when we are in a place of starvation, our body goes back to what it was taught to do in our ancestral times to conserve energy. And this is where Linda is she's probably beating herself up, because Saturday comes and she's freaking starving and everything looks good and she's overeating. And then she's like, I'm just going to get back on it on Monday, because she feels like crap now that she's just overeaten. Your body was remembering Even though you think you have control, your body is remembering the times when we were not smart enough and we didn't have food on every corner to say, hey, this might be the last time you eat for 3 days. So you better make sure you eat enough. And I'm sure you guys have all had that mentality where it's like, this meal, this is going to be the last time I do this. I think after this time, I'm done. I'm never going to eat like this again. And then sure and behold, lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, you're smashing that pizza again. So that's another case. And then the last one is gaining and losing fat can change the way our body regulates body weight. So this is where that constant yo-yoing up and down on the scale is not good for your body. You're constantly in this freaking fighting, and your body is going to start to learn. I've mentioned this a number of times, guys, but your body fat cells don't disappear when you lose weight. They shrink. And then when you gain fat, they swell. They also multiply. So I like to use the water balloon analogy. You got a tub full of full water balloons, you pop them. When you regain the fat, you're blowing them back up, and then they're expanding so much that now they're multiplying. Okay, so we want to not have that constant up and down. So if this is you and you're constantly motivated to do this thing and then not motivated to do this thing, you're only making it harder for yourself to lose weight. The opposite, metabolic adaptation to calorie restoration. We're bringing calories up. Guess what happens? Energy increases. So if you're one of my clients and I'm listening to your telling me that you're feeling like shit, and I start asking you, how's your energy now? And you're like, man, I feel amazing. I'm like, good. We're on the right track. I could give 2 shits about the scale at that moment because I know I'm likely doing the right thing for your metabolism. The other one I'll get is, I'm hungry. Why am I so hungry? Your digestive system is picking up, okay? The thermic effect of feeding. You're eating more food. You're burning more calories just to digest your food. You're getting better intensity in your workouts. You might not even realize that. All of a sudden, you're like, holy shit, I'm PRing again. What's going on? You've got more calories available to build lean muscle tissue, which is going to burn more calories at rest. Once again, you're just increasing your body's BMR. We're bringing it back up. We want to restore, we want to push the limits of that BMR. So how do we apply this? Okay, this is really important, okay? Because I know how frustrating it is to have a goal and feel like what you have to do to get there sucks. Having to tell yourself, I can't focus on losing weight right now because I have completely, excuse my language, fucked my metabolic function right now. And I need to restore that so that I can start to lose weight again. It sucks to tell yourself that you're going to put the work in and you're going to be counting your macros and hitting your numbers and eating food. And you might not see that scale move for 6 months. It might move in 2 weeks. It might move in 1 week. It really depends on how long you have been chronically dieting and chronically burning the candle at both ends. Okay, so you have to realize that if you really want to lose body fat, also feel your best, start freaking crushing it in the gym. Sometimes you have to take the focus off of the weight and you have to put it on getting your body working to lose the weight. So how we're going to apply it is this. We need to establish your maintenance calories, okay? This is where a coach can come in because, like I said, these are estimations. And it's really important that even if you are taking this and you're going to start to roll with it, you're going to start to, I hope I fire you up tonight to start to really, if you're not one of my clients or you're not one of Dylan's clients, that you're like, man, I'm going to actually try this out, okay? You need to establish maintenance calories. Now, I'm not telling Linda to go from eating 1,200 calories, eating 2,400 calories. That would not be fair, okay? Because she probably would gain some weight in the process. And sometimes weight gain is part of the process, but it usually is minimal, usually 2 or 3 pounds, and then it stops. But it's bringing calories up slowly and surely. And this is where even after you've lost fat and you're at your body weight where you want to be, I'm going to be the coach is like, we're bringing calories up because I don't want your body adapted like Linda. I want your body thriving for the rest of your life. Okay, so we're going to establish those maintenance calories. We're going to be paying attention to biofeedback. Okay, digestion, sleep, recovery from workouts, motivation, energy, mental focus, mood. Are you freaking anxious all the time? Are you hungry all the time? Are you getting a bunch of cravings? Hormones, all of this stuff. We're listening to all of these things. That is why my weekly check-in form, guys, is so important. That's where I'm getting you guys the important stuff written down so that I know where I need to be kind of navigating, playing, I call it diet detective. Okay. Keep data points and metrics. This is why I'm also like a stickler on you guys' body weight, checking body weight, because I don't want to see one random body weight like every 2 weeks. I want to see your trends. I want to see how stress affects your body weight. I want to see how lack of sleep might affect your body weight. You know, I get this all the time where somebody doesn't weigh themselves until a Monday morning. And I'm like, what did your weight look like on Wednesday or Thursday? Probably look way different after the weekend, right? So this is all stuff that I want to take a look at. And the next thing is we're going to be adjusting along the way. The goal really is to always try and avoid adaptations by not staying in the same place for too long. So we don't want to always be, this is for everybody. I myself have adapted. You know, at some point, training volume becomes, I get used to my training volume and my amount of calories matches my training volume. And that becomes a stagnation in my body. I've always wanted to change that. It doesn't always mean, though, adding more. That's the importance of, honestly, when you're a high level athlete, taking a recovery week. Okay. And then your body's going to adapt again. It's everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. Our goal really is to always keep the body thinking, always keep it thinking. And this is going to take me back to like maybe the 90s, because I feel like I'm getting old now. But I'm not sure if you guys can remember when like muscle confusion was a thing and everyone's like, oh, you've got to like confuse the muscles, and like everything was about like these crazy protocols to help you guys confuse the muscle groups. This is really what it was trying to do. They were always trying to prevent an adaptation, because adaptation tells your body that it has enough muscle tissue, it has enough food, and you want your body always thinking, I need more muscle tissue, I need more food. And then the last one I'm going to talk to you guys about, and this is kind of important, is do you need a coach or do you need a calculator? Okay. In my opinion, you need both. I myself had a calculator. I myself have had a coach. Who was I more effective with? The coach, hands down. Okay. When I had the coach, I did the right shit for myself. And it wasn't that I didn't know, it's that we all act emotionally. We all like to make decisions without really thinking about the science. We think about what we want, and that's always going to drive more action than what we actually need. Okay. So it's, you know what you want, but you know what you need. It's hard to make yourself do the things that you need to do that you need. So instead, ask yourself these couple of questions. How likely are you to stay consistent with your nutrition plan by following the guidelines of a calculator? And this is huge. How many times have people said, I tracked my macros? Yeah, like for what? A week? Like 3 or 4 days a week for like 2 months? Or did you do it 7 days a week for like 3 months? It doesn't mean you were like perfect, like didn't eat out and weighed and tracked everything, but did you actually consistently have a good metric to say, hey, I spent 12 weeks and I freaking like tracked everything. I did the best that I could. I was maybe eating out 20% of the time. You know, I really tried to focus on things. How likely are you to do that without a coach telling you every single week, hey, I'm doing this? Okay. 2, how comfortable are you knowing that you are making the right adjustments when biofeedback is not ideal and or progress stalls? Really, how comfortable are you assessing your biofeedback? Do you know how bad you feel? Do you know what you should be looking for? Do you know what you should be adjusting? Because all people know is they want to lose weight. They want to lose body fat. They want to like how they look in the mirror, and they're hearing the solution is I should be eating less. And sometimes that's not the answer. And then the last one is, how much mental energy does it take to think about how much you should or shouldn't be eating, whether you are doing the right thing or if this is even going to work? Okay, guys, that was me. All right, I totally get it. I wanted to eat more food, and I was like, nah, I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. And I would start off great during the day. And then by the end of the night, I was like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like the mental energy and the stress of thinking about it, or the fear of making the wrong decision, or not knowing if it's going to work, it's just so much stress and mental energy. So in my opinion, I do think it's always good to be a coach. This is not a plug for coaching, but I am going to have an offer for you guys out there, because I'm not leaving this whatever you want to call it, Zoom, live Facebook read, whatever, without an actual offer. Because I want you guys to feel like you guys know what I'm talking about, and maybe have a little bit of some tools to kind of work with. So these are some things to think about. So I would like to help somebody out there. Maybe there's a few out there, and if you're one of my clients, you guys know you guys get this from me. Whatever. Every week we can talk about your metabolism and where I think it's at. But if you're not one of our clients and you actually would like to find out if this might be where you're stuck at, and maybe you want to have a little bit of a metabolic assessment, let me know. So you're going to see Fit Body RX, because that name is going to be well known around here pretty soon. That's my personal phone number. If you text me, I'm going to actually do a metabolic assessment for you. That's all I need from you. If you guys, I'm going to open up my Facebook feed now, so that if you guys have any questions about Linda, or maybe you want to talk about Doug. If you're a male, I don't know where Doug came from either. But if you want to talk about anything else, or if anything here, I'm just going to pop and see if there's any questions. I hope that I can see them. And if you guys want a copy of this, just let me know. I have 8 people watching. Hi guys. I see everybody watching. It's Linda's Metabolism Adjusting. So Craig knew. Guys, on Facebook, I'm on my Facebook comments now. Did you guys have any questions about any of that stuff? I'm going to stay on here for a few minutes if you guys wanted to talk to me about anything else, or even if you had any questions about anything else to do with nutrition, or any of that stuff that has been kind of maybe on your mind, because I'm going to start doing these every single week. Kelly, you are crushing it, girl. Let me just tell you, I'm not going to put Kelly on the hot seat right now, but Kelly has been crushing it while literally being the freaking amazing social butterfly that she is. She legitimately has some kind of event almost every single week, and has been so diligent on being like, you know what, even if it's not perfect, I'm going to track this. And it's been awesome watching you live that flexible life right now, along with, obviously, you had some injuries. So you've been crushing it, girl. So keep it up. I'm standing here for a few more minutes and just stare at myself. All right, guys. Well, if you guys did get value out of this, if you guys do want me to kind of talk to you about your metabolism, if you are one of my clients and feel like you want to have a little bit more education on this yourself for your own sake, please let me know that as well. I am always here to help you guys. Once again, I'll put that phone number in here as well for anybody that needs it. Guys, I'm like super excited to grow this group. I've seen a lot of new faces popping in here. Myself and Coach Dylan are going to be trying to be involved in here more often, because I really just want to, I am like super fired up just to kind of really coming back off of Nashville, being in front of so many cool people, and just being fired up to just create more change in this world, because I know how frustrating it is to be online and see what everybody else is doing and get kind of, stuck in your own feels about like what you're doing and if it's working and if it's going to work. And I know the consistency game is what I always preach, but it's really hard to be consistent when you feel like you're the only one doing it. So you guys are crushing it. I can't wait to announce the winner of the summer shred. There will be another challenge coming up in August. It's going to be a 21-day challenge. I am super excited to talk a little bit more about that. And that's going to also be free and free for everybody. So that's it, guys. Happy Wednesday night. If you guys do have any more questions, let me know. And I will talk to y'all soon. Clients of mine, don't forget Zoom this Sunday, 6 p.m. I am also getting back on track every single week with those. And if you guys would prefer me do it a little bit later, if you guys are doing dinner time at 6 p.m. and you want me to do it at 7, I am willing to do it at 7 p.m. too. You can let me know that and we will change it to 7 p.m. because I'm all about trying to make it easier for you guys. So happy Wednesday, guys. Have a good night.